Okay, we're going to get started. Welcome everybody to the Hackathon, Top 5 Hackathon judging session. I'm going to go ahead and introduce the judges. My name is Jonathan Baskey. I'm one of the co-founders of DeveloperWeek and the conference here, our first annual DeveloperWeek, so thanks all for coming. We've seen a lot of the faces here already because you guys have been doing this for the last 5 days, starting at the Hackathon Friday night, going through now through here on Wednesday. So we're going to get started here in 2 seconds. Let me introduce the esteemed panel of judges that we have in front of us for the top 5 for the first annual Developer Week Hackathon. So without, let's see here. Okay, we have Ty Arnell from StackMob. You just want to raise your hand as we go. Perfect. What's that? Amel. Ty Amel from StackMob. Bill Sottler, is that how it's? Sotter from Galaxy Ventures. Ruben Katz from Geeklist. Farah Giga? Farah Giga from Amplified Partners. And Brian Long from Atlantic Bridge Ventures. Can we get a round of applause just for the judges here today? Okay, the way this is going to work, we have Joanna down here doing time for all the teams. So she's going to give you guys 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds in time. And that's all the time you have. You guys have 6 minutes to start and go. You guys can use it however you want with questions and with your presentation. So when you guys are done, the judges will go ahead and ask you guys questions, and then we'll be running one right after another. So without further ado, we're going to get started with Code Push.
And I guess what's great about it is it's a service for developers, so it should be relevant to most of you. So this is the team. Dave's done most of the back-end engineering and the integration of a number of APIs, and I've designed the initial UI. So the problem we're trying to solve is that everyone realizes that they're supposed to iterate through software products as quickly as possible and learn, but it often gets stalled and deployment basically gets in the way of quick process. So we want to build a process that enables you to spin through this much quicker. And effectively, the problem we're trying to solve is that a lot of people, as we talk to developers, are doing there are lots of different stick and path solutions to deployment. They're integrating with their own continuous integration, or they're building their own tools to do feature flagging. And it means you're not focusing on the main product. It means it's hard to track and measure the feature performance, but also there's a real risk for manual errors. So this is what the product looks like.
So what we're going to provide is basically deployment as a service. So so basically in a continuous deployment pipeline, you commit your code, you run your tests with continuous integration, and then you deploy. And so we did those steps with the services you see here, but what we added was the ability to flag your features and measure and manage those features and enable them in production. So I'm going to go ahead and these are all the APIs down below that we use to implement this. So I'm going to do the demo. So the first thing we're going to do is basically just do a simple push to push up our code, and that should kick off Travis here. You probably don't see it now, but it'll actually kick it off. And then what we'll see is as soon as it's kicked off, it's going to give us an alert at the top here that says that the build is in progress. So while the build's in progress, we can look at some other features. So you can see here on this page that we just have kind of our list of features, registration, it tells you where the feature is on in production and so forth. And then here, so here's the app that we actually deployed, right? So you can see that we have a successful build, and so we have our sample app. So now we can start like seeing, okay, why don't we try turning off this feature? So you can move the slider around and say, okay, I want the sign up to show production. And instead say, click on this. And you can even, like on the sign up form itself, put an alternative message that says, sorry, registration is temporarily closed. The idea here is to be able to roll out, be able to dynamically, when something's live in production, turn on and off features. Then as a result, so after you've done that, after you've launched the feature, you want to know, okay, is this, is enabling registration doing anything to my metrics? And since we don't have anybody using this sample application, we don't have any metrics. But the idea here was that we used Keen to track metrics, and so that the idea is that you can measure your product after you deploy it into production. So if you change something about registration, maybe shorten the flow by removing first name, last name, you can say, okay, the people who have seen that feature can they, is registration more successful for those folks? And I think that's pretty much the.
So we think this is solving a big problem. I mean, there's lots of big companies out there that, and small companies that struggle with this. I know Facebook's particularly good at it, and there's a general trend towards the services that are helping developers save time. Developers get paid a lot of money, and any cost saving on their time is a big one. So our basic business model here would be freemium, probably based on number of concurrent features you have live. And the good thing is this is a really rapidly growing market. We've got platform as a service generally getting to sort of 9 billion in a couple of years' time. And there's a number of companies who we put in the same category of developer services who've raised big money or exited recently. So, any questions?
So would it be fair to say that this is kind of like dynamic values for turning features on and off plus A/B testing because you get the metrics back on it, or?
Yeah, so it's very similar to both. Basically, like the ideas came from a lot of companies like Facebook and their gatekeeper thing, where you pass in a feature and all the metrics about a user and be able to turn features on and off. But at the same time, since you can roll this out to when the features that it shows that you can roll to like 50% of the people who see that page. And so then if you do 50% versus if you see it, 50% you don't see it, then you can definitely do A/B testing, and that would be definitely one of the core features we build out.
Okay. And since I'm a tech guy, what's the overhead on this?
The overhead
For whether this feature is live or not?
So in terms of implementation, it's really simple because you just have an API call where it's just a simple one call.
On the URL.
Yeah, if you go to the website, you can see the code. But it's just a really short code snippet. There's both a JavaScript API and a REST API. And so the REST API would have a client, you would just say, if feature on, pass in the demographics that you need analyzed, and you're ready to go. So it's very, very low overhead for developers.
Who are your customers for this product?
So customers would be both people in the web space and mobile. So you can see this, the example we gave was like an example web app where you can turn on and off features dynamically using WebSockets. But you can also see using this on mobile as long as you're connected.
And I think it's relevant for small business as well as enterprise. I mean, you can see this being useful for people, very large teams that have lots of classing features.
Thanks.
Next up, we have Bookcrumbs.
Okay, so we're Bookcrumbs. In a nutshell, we are SoundCloud for reading. You've probably seen similar implementation of what we'll show you, but only for personal use. For example, Google Books, Amazon Kindle, they all have options to kind of read with yourself. You can leave little notes for yourself. You can kind of interact with your own reading experience, but you can't really interact with other people. So it'll make more sense when I pull it up. You guys can actually go to this site live. It's bookcrumbs.org. Now the main space we're trying to tackle is massive online open classrooms. This is a very popular trend scaring universities, like Coursera, Khan Academy. One big problem these great corporations are having right now is you have a class of around 16,000 people now instead of 30, and what happens is generally the teacher would give out a reading assignment, everyone has to read it, and then as far as the discussion goes, they have a scoped classroom for all 16,000 students. So all those students get their own forum. They can go to that forum and post discussion questions, but it's a huge mess because it's 16,000 students and it's only one forum. So we would provide a platform for hosting reading materials. It could be teacher's own reading material, it could be open source book, it could be a copyrighted book that we have partnered with a publisher, and anyone can log in, for example. You would pick the group you belong to, so your Coursera class or even your real class. For this demo, we have Moby Dick, and as you go through the book, you can hover over a paragraph, and you'll be able to see the notes added by other students in your class for this paragraph. To handle thousands of students at the same time. This is also all real time, so Henry, are you on the paragraph there? Yeah, you'll see Henrietta notes as we're going here in real time, and you'll see them pop up. To scope thousands of students, like, it's going to be overwhelming if every single one kept leaving notes everywhere. To scope it, we scoped it per paragraph, so you'll only see the notes relevant to the current paragraph you're hovering over. But then if you want more detail, you can actually go through the individual notes, and it will show you the exact text they highlighted. And to give you an idea of how to leave a note, you just, for example, select something, and just type something in, and it'll pop up there. Okay. So yeah, the monetization here is pretty inherent. You can partner with book publishers. You can allow even authors to publish books through our service, but our main product is this platform, and we have a full JavaScript stack, which is why we are like really focused on the live real time, and like just massive people, thousands of people. Like, this could be applied to a class of 30 students, but we think we could contribute the most to like massive online open classrooms such as Coursera. I feel they could really use something like this. And yeah, we would be the platform. They would, one problem is, before we gain enough traction, for example, what if we can't get a partnership with a book publisher right away? Well, that's not really a big problem, because we can allow people to upload their own materials, or allow, the teacher to upload his own materials. We don't have to have a publisher till you start gaining market traction. I think that's pretty much most of the demo. We'll open it up to questions.
Some people's notes are more valuable than others in their class. Can you weight whose notes you want to take priority?
So, what do you mean?
You've got 16 people in
Yes.
the class. You have a lot of notes on the paragraph. Some people's contribution will
Yeah,
be valuable.
we will, the main thing, we didn't have it ready for the demo, but we have a voting system. So you'll be able to vote and upvote notes and see the most relevant. And if a note has enough downvotes, it will be deleted. Yeah. For example, also if you're a teacher, you would have a admin interface. Might look something like this. If your class is like 30 people, it would be like this. If your class is 16,000 people, you'd have certain filters to see like who's leaving the most notes, and you could reach out to that student specifically.
So why monetize through book publishers? Like, why are they going to pay you guys? Why not go after the schools or the classes?
Yeah, schools, and especially online schools, are our primary target. But just as a side thing, you can like partner, for example, with Amazon Books, and we could sell Amazon's books through our platform. We can allow people to buy books through our platform. But yeah, primarily we are focused on just massive online. We would host the whole platform. They would pay us to use our platform.
With schools losing a lot of their funding, do you feel like, and that's it. So much for the question. Nice job.
Okay, next up we have bottle caps.
All right, my name is Scott Shelton, and I'm representing Bottle Caps, which is a dream I had, which is a game where you can play it at a bar and win free drinks. So what it is an authenticated customer loyalty mobile game for bars. And to our customers, it's a free game that gives you free drinks. So the question is, why a mobile game? Well, first and foremost, it's an addictive customer loyalty platform. You don't need to carry around keychains or anything else, it's always on your phone. The goal of it is to generate traffic, increase customer retention rate, and drive sales for bars, while enabling direct marketing and consumer behavior opportunities for beverage companies while you're at the bar. And it also provides patrons with free drinks and entertainment. So the first problem that we ran into was, how do we prove that these people are actually buying drinks? And we found this great authentication hardware called Snowshoe. And I will just demo it fast.
The Snowshoe stand, secure, intuitive, and inexpensive method of authenticating interactions. This unassuming block of durable aluminum and silicone rubber holds a secret. When pressed against the capacitive touchscreen of a smartphone or tablet, the patented Snowshoe stand imparts a unique set of points. That pattern is then algorithmically matched against a database of valid results. If there's a positive match, the stamping action is deemed successful, and the mobile application leveraging Snowshoe's technology can proceed accordingly. And best of all, it's as simple as.
So cool. So now we can make magic bottle openers that when you touch them to the screen of a phone, it proves that you've actually done something. And so on the right is what the prototypes are going to look like with some dots on the bottom. This is an actual demo of what the game is like to play. So the first thing you'll see is an ad that would be sponsored by the bar. If I'm trying to figure out where I want to go out that night, I can go into locations, and it will show me all the bars in the area that are participating and how many points I've accrued at each of them. If I want to play the game, it's going to ask me to get a stamp from the bartender first. So this is kind of our prototype bottle opener stamp. Once you get the stamp, we have this basic game set up where each row there's a different probability of winning points. And at this point, we were really lucky because we won 500 caps. This will bring us to the prize screen, where at the top you'll see all of our caps have been saved. We also have the options of turning in those caps for different prizes, and the leaderboard for the specific bar we're in to see who has caps, who doesn't. There's also a Facebook option where I can share caps with friends, or if there's a cute girl at the bar that needs some caps, I can become Facebook friends with her. You can also redeem prizes, and this is where the stamp comes in again. And it will actually wipe the points off of the system. For the bar, we want to set up a web portal that has analytics from everything from how many games were played to how many drinks were won and what the retention rate was. They'll be able to use this portal to also sponsor in-game promotions, do email blasts to their users, change the reward schedule, etc., etc. We have social integration so far, which is going to be, if you win, you can post to Facebook. In the future, we hope to use that dynamic to say things like, if multiple people in the same friend group from Facebook are at the bar, your odds of winning go up. So it encourages that. The monetization that we've thought of so far is starting with push notification promotions that can be done by either liquor companies or by the bars, branded game elements, consumer behavior research, branded prize screens starting drink giveaways, and customer email lists and banner ads. The push notification promotion we are running through StackMob, and this is an example of something we can do. Double points at Coleman's Corner tonight if you come down. The integrations we're using are Snowshoe for the authentication, Facebook for sharing prizes and customer referral, Swerve for A/B testing, play testing, and StackMob for push notifications and potentially analytics. We haven't explored that yet. The next steps for us, we have a bar in New York that actually has 8 locations called Amity Hall that's interested in getting this implemented as quickly as possible. We'd like to hire a designer because neither of us are actually designers, so we'd like to kind of overhaul that and make it look beautiful. And we are not married to any one particular game, so we can find a cool game. The deeper social integration is going to be really key to kind of making this go viral. And the refined analytics, what I mean by that is if I can track what you're drinking, let's say you're drinking Heineken every weekend, and I'm trying to get you to drink Coors, I can actually send you a voucher for a free Coors and be able to track those different things. So I'd like to open to questions for the last minute.
Is it possible to challenge other people in the games?
Not as of right now, but we aren't married to a specific game. So because of the social element, that could be something that we could be integrating in the future.
Are your customers the beer companies or the bars?
Both.
How dependent are you on Snowshoe?
It's fairly dependent, but there are other authentication mechanisms we can use. This just happened to be the fastest one we found for the bartender. our emails are up there. Feel free to reach out.
Next up, we have PayPal.
So I think you've all probably had this problem before. You go to a coffee shop, an airport, somewhere where you're using your computer all day or your phone and you're running low on battery and you can't find a power plug anywhere. It's frustrating because you got work to do, you're being productive, but no, battery's dead, you just gotta sit there, find some crappy magazine and let the time go by. So we have invented a solution to that problem and we're really excited to share it with you today. We found a plug, which we're really excited about, and it's made available because we have this great technology that allows people to only use it for a certain amount of time so it can share around a little bit better. Find the plug, we decide, okay, I'm gonna pay for 30 minutes, and go through with PayPal, which is running real slow here, but we can pay just $1 with PayPal, and then we authenticate with the snowshoe, and yeah, there we go. So now you have power. It's really exciting because this is a way to take the limited resource in public spaces, which is power, give the store owners or airport an extra revenue stream, and give people who really need power the opportunity to get it. So, as I mentioned, these customers share this common pain, and we showed you how it works, which is great. The business model is like a vending machine. We give these units away for free, and we take a share of the revenue. We provide maintenance, customer support, we handle the transactions. The business gets to charge whatever price they want. So airports might charge $5 an hour, cafes might decide to give the first hour away for free if you buy a drink. No upfront cost for the business, and we take 30% of the revenue that's generated. So this is a few examples of what annual revenue would look like under different scenarios. So 2 transactions a day at $1 per hour. The total revenue is somewhere around $750, of which about $200 goes to us after transaction fees. So the economics, a bit of an upfront cost for tooling, then devices, just $20 to $30 a unit, and the hardware, we have a payback period of half a month to 3 months, depending on the price and volume that the customer achieves. So we would love to take any questions, and then I hope that you share our excitement in this product.
How many units per plug outlet would companies be able to provide at the event? So if it's South by Southwest and you can't charge your phone, how many other people can join you on that?
You know, that's a fantastic question. So our demo is just one, but since we're going to be making these things, we could do a whole string of them.
You could do an entire extension forward, or any form.
Yep.
So you mentioned 2 up there, but you've done a broader market and competitive analysis, because I've probably seen half a dozen or a dozen different companies out there, and you've got elaborate ones where they have lockers where you pay in there, you stick it in there, lock it up, and then you can come back an hour later when it's charged, and then steals it, and so you're not tethered to the phone walls there.
Sure, and you know that works really well for phone charging. Of course, the actual setup is more expensive, so you go to the airport and you'll just see a few of those. The beauty of this is that we can give it away for free, and there are competitors, but this allows them to charge not very much at all.
Think of coffee shops or restaurants. You don't mind selling or having people wait around and use outlets in the off-peak time, but when it becomes peak hours, you want to really get them to clear out. So that's where it's probably really useful.
What APIs are you guys using?
The Snowshoe API, and we started integrating with the PayPal API. Obviously, we didn't fully integrate that.
And also for the demo unit, the email.
Oh, yeah.
What about the installation of these units around the month?
The idea for these units would be that they could just screw into the existing kind of a faceplate of an outlet. So anybody can install it with just a screwdriver, and it would plug right into, install right into the wall. So I think we can talk about sort of the installation is much simpler and cheaper than the larger units at airports typically. Thanks so much for your time.
And last up, we have Callinize.
So we're Team Callinize, and we want to help people start recognizing your inbound calls. How many of you have gotten a call on your mobile phone and had no idea who it was? Show of hands. We all have. With Callinize, you'll know exactly who's calling you. We're also going to provide you information, but not only who it is, what company they're from, the type of relationship with you, and even your notes from your CRM about your last conversation with them. We pulled this from your company's CRM, such as Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics, etc. So now we're going to do a demo. This is actually a demo we recorded using AirPlay off of this phone. And what's happening here is we have a call coming in from this number. Now look, without call play, we see it's a 410 area code from Maryland. This doesn't tell us anything about the person. But with the Callinize pop-up that showed up here, we see this is Jonathan Smith, the IT director for ABC Corporation. And we even see that last time we talked, he said that the budget was to become available in March. So we're definitely going to want to take this call. Once we take the call, while we're talking to John, we find out that some budget became available that has to be spent by the end of the day tomorrow. But we're on our mobile phone. How are we going to remember to send him a quote once we get back to the office? I mean, we're generally at coffee shops. So what we do is we provide a launch button. Click that launch button. It's going to pop up a screen, which is going to show you even more information from the CRM system, but also provide you a place to leave notes. So here we're going to type in that funds are becoming available and to send them a quote as soon as possible. So when we get back to our office, we're going to get this reminder once we log into our CRM system. So that's our demo. So how we're doing this, we're using StackMount as our backend as a service. This is great because this is going to allow us to scale. As we add more users, we don't have to worry about maintaining this infrastructure. We're also tying in with MyShape's Apply for more information. Now, this isn't just for salespeople. This is for everyone in the organization. Support people, they need to answer lines on time, they can get more notes. It's going to help people be more productive. You're working on a proposal, you have 10 minutes to go, and you get a call. So let's move on to the business. So right now, mobile sales management apps are amongst the top 5 requested features in the App Exchange. What we're going to do, so the point is everyone wants this. What we're going to do is we're going to sell this as a user license, just like per month, per user, just like Salesforce. What we're showing here in this graph is the 4 main CRM vendors. So it's Salesforce, Microsoft, SAP, and Oracle. They have the most market share. What we're showing there is if we have 1% of the total number of users from Salesforce using our app, or for each vendor, we'd be at 16.2 million in a year. And if we had 3% market adoption, we'd be up to 48.6. That's all fun and good, but how are we going to achieve this market adoption? The benefits of this app are very intuitive. Once people see it, they understand it, they want it. So the key is to get this out, people learn about it. The first way is we're going to submit this to the app exchanges. This is where all the CRM administrators go to find apps for their CRM system. The next way we're going to do it is strategic cross-promotion. What I mean by this is we're going to partner with the CRM companies. Because this app provides a very compelling reason. They're going to be able to sell more user licenses of the CRM systems to their existing customers. So it's a lot cheaper to acquire these new customers. Because right now they're struggling. CRM systems are mainly used by salespeople. How do we get the rest of the organization to start using it? CRM systems are seen as sort of this hassle. We take notes, we write it down on a piece of paper, then have to later log in, find that contact, and associate that note. This provides a seamless workflow. It just works for you, no social engineering. So every good company requires a good team. So we have an experienced team of engineers and designers with a proven track record of starting companies. Patrick and I have been working in the CRM telephony space for the last 2 years. We actually have an integration with Sugar CRM and Asterisk, which we're going to be able to leverage that experience. So what are our next steps? Next month, we're going to launch this in the Apple App Store. We're going to immediately then push this out to our existing users, our 200 users we have, to start getting feedback and maybe even start generating revenue. Then by July 2013, we want to get this into the App Exchange, the Salesforce App Exchange, because this is going to greatly increase our market opportunity. So I think plenty of time for questions.
And the notes you make, are they your own personal notes, or if other people across the organization make notes about this call, are they seen as well?
Yeah, everything's seen by well, that's up to the settings in the CRM system. How do you like that?
Currently, it's pulling the last note. So if a record was accessible by 2 or 3 people, and another person, say your secretary, left you a note for that customer, like called in or asked about this question, then you would see that note that your secretary left. And so that's the sort of same thing in terms of you have an email that's unread, and then that person calls you. Obviously they're going to ask you about that email that they just sent you. Well, if you have this information in your CRM, and you can pull it in, it's information when you need it.
Does it work without Wi-Fi?
Oh yeah, works over 3G, 4G, absolutely.
Even when you're on the phone though?
Even what?
On the phone though, like with Verizon now, like can you get around that with Verizon not letting you use data when you're on the phone? Can you have like a safe layer?
You still get the push notifications, and the push notification actually coming in before the call comes in.
Right, but with the same the notes, like is there a safe layer so if you don't have data?
It queues it right now. Yeah, exactly.
Is this a consumer sale or is it an enterprise?
Enterprise.
Completely enterprise. Where recurring revenue.
Partnering with a CRM.
It's exactly. I mean, that's the main thing. The main thing, we go to these platforms like Salesforce. They have 100,000 customers, and you say, hey, look, if you add this on, they're already paying $60 a month. They can just pay another $15 a month. You get this great useful feature. So that way we can acquire customers in a lot larger scale.
Okay, and now the moment that the Hackathon teams have been waiting for. The grand prize, the winner of the first annual Data Week, or Developer Week. I knew I was going to do that one time this week. Hackathon. There are 4 components to the grand prize. The winning team will be getting a post-conference press release announcing the winner out to hundreds of thousands of pickups and online. A dedicated post on GigaOM. A feature in our post-conference newsletter from DeveloperWeek, and a meeting with 2 Silicon Valley VCs from Battery Ventures and General Catalyst Partners. So the judges deliberated, and thank you again. Can we get one round of applause for the judges? And some of the judges have agreed to stay here, and if you wanted to talk to them, get some feedback as teams, you're more than welcome to. We did have a good discussion back there, and the judges wanted me to mention that we do have an honorable mention, because we were really between 2 teams back there. So honorable mention for the hackathon goes to Bottle Caps. And the winner of the Developer Week Hackathon, Callinize.